Hello out there. Do we have sound? Good. Thank you. Good morning, dear friends. Friends in the Dharma. Getting up early to come and join together in meditation. That's pretty select company, isn't it? So I'm Robert Beatty, or I pretend to be Robert Beatty. I am that which poses as Robert Beatty. I'm at this moment in eastern Beaverton, west coast of the United States, in the Buddha Broadcasting Network International tent. And I'm here at the supporting and being supported by the Portland Insight Meditation Community, which is over 12 miles that way to the east, and which has an incredible website, www.portlandinsight.org, with all kinds of wonderful things on it. I encourage you to go there and visit. And I have a choice poem for this morning. Derek Walcott, collected poems 1948 to 84. Love after love. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you have ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit. Feast on your life. The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, "Sit here, eat." You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you have ignored for another, who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life. That's a good line. Sit, feast on your life. The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, "Sit here, eat." You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Wow. You will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, "Sit here, eat." You will love again the stranger who was yourself. We follow along an ancient path, the Eightfold Path of the Buddha. It's been around a long time, almost 2,600 years, which is extraordinarily fortunate for us because it means we don't need to invent it. And we can avoid a lot of the unpleasant traps that come along in our lives. So, along with all those beings who have done all these centuries have sung and chanted the reminders of refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, let's join them. Buddha. Is the Buddha something out there or someone out there? A man who walked the earth 2,600 years ago? Or is the Buddha something inside which contains everything, which is awake and aware? The Dharma, the natural order, the way things actually are. It's such a relief to take refuge in Dharma because then we don't need to be particularly engaged in self-improvement or any improvement. We can realize that we already have arrived. And the refuge in Sangha, the community of all life, and the life of our forebears who have walked this path, and our community of practice right here. I take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows me the way in this life. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya, Namo Buddhaya. I take refuge in the Dharma, the way of understanding and love. Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Dharmaya. I take refuge in the Sangha, the community of mindful harmony. Namo Sanghaya, Namo Sanghaya, Namo Sanghaya. Please let us find a comfortable upright posture. Sit. Feast on your life. Feast on the fact of aliveness right now. And what is it that we really have? We have seeing, hearing, we might have some scent, some taste, contact, warmth, coolness. Proprioceptive sense, we know where things are relative to each other. And we have mind. The contents of mind. Let us feast on them all. Let us be totally intimate with life this morning. There is quite a price for being intimate with life, because it means when it's unpleasant and difficult, we're actually present for it. But it also means when we are experiencing pleasure, we're totally present for that. We signed up, so to speak, for life, so why not fully take the course? Why not fully embrace the truth of this body, this mind, and all the experience that comes with it? Embracing in-breathing and out-breathing. Cultivating an awareness which notices the very first beginning of the breath. Before there's any movement. present with the in-breathing expansion of the chest and abdomen, all the way to fullness, and then notice the change of direction. Notice the contraction, the falling away. The expansion diminishes all the way to stopping. It's as though breathing takes place inside awareness. We cannot look directly at consciousness. We can know it's there because thoughts occur, body sensations occur, and they're noticed. They are illuminated by something. And that something is the mystery of awakeness. Thoughts probably will arise. Sounds will arise. Emotion may be present. Seeing everything, knowing everything as it is, it's all coming into being and vanishing. And somehow sitting right here in the middle of everything, is that which knows what's happening. And there's nothing to think about or figure out. It's simply, this is the time to be here. Present, breathing in, breathing out. Watching everything that happens, or knowing everything that happens. Each and every breath has a beginning. We are present for the Genesis moment, which is always now. in this path of transformation and awakening. Sometimes there are moments of realization, there are moments of awakening that are dramatic. Mostly, though, it's planting one seed of awakeness after another. Persistently uprooting greed and hatred and ignorance. Persistently recognizing the 5 hindrances of sensual desire and aversion, restlessness, agitation and worry, sloth and torpor, dullness and doubt. Following our pole star of being present for anything and everything that arises, for the pleasant and the unpleasant. Embracing with fullness, full attention, the actual experience of sitting here and breathing in and out. over and over again. Mindfulness will wink out. Some trance state will come into being, depending upon our conditioning. Could be a worry, could be planning, could be just dull semi-consciousness. It's not a failure. It's just what is. And every time the mind wanders off into some trance or another, there is, again, that mysterious awakening, that mysterious knowing of waking up again. In this practice of insight meditation, Sati Patana Vipassana, Vipassana means seeing things as they really are. Moment after moment, time after time. There is an opening to that which knows, to that capacity of awareness, and a relinquishment of any attachment to content. It's as though we dissolve into the earth or dissolve into being the universe, and our separate self-identifications become less and less relevant. But that doesn't mean this other end of the paradox isn't real. And so it behooves us to love this being who sits here, to honor him, her, them, to take care of the needs, to take care medically, emotionally, socially, financially, of this one sitting here. Why not wish this one well? What would be your words of blessing, of kindness, of generosity to this one, yourself? May I be deeply happy. May I attend very carefully to what I really, really, really want to do. the definition of spiritual discipline, doing what I really, really, really want to do. Not the superficial desires. May I live with ease and grace. May my life become one great sigh of gratitude. May I accept myself with my compulsions and addictions and sometimes not so skillful behaviors. Wish yourself well. May I accept my body as it is. And cultivating some similar wishes for your loved ones. May they be safe today. May they be free from overwhelming greed or hatred and ignorance. May they feel safe and loved by their world and family and friends. And the same then to all beings, all human beings, all of the beings who live in the air, who fly in the air, those who live in the trees themselves, those who walk on the earth and burrow in the earth, those who swim, to all of us here in this mysterious coming and goingness that we call life. May all beings know happiness, the causes of happiness, and have the opportunity to practice in such a way as they truly, truly become free. Please now bringing awareness into the hands, into the abdomen and chest, the neck and the face, the cheeks, the lips, the tongue, the forehead and the eyes. And now doing what it takes to form an intention and then allow the eyes to open. Seeing happens, objects. So many objects. And notice that the seeing actually takes place inside. And it's mysterious. That little story that we tell of I'm seeing, notice if that's true or not. Is it I'm seeing or is it just seeing? Well, I am really grateful to have you here today. It's wonderful to be able to count on this, to come together in this way. I have a few announcements. Let me get to the page I want to here. I'm scrolling across screens. Yes. It's a little ways off, Tuesday, July 14th. There's a live stream nonviolent communication practice group with Doyle Banks. Monday, June the 15th, which is this coming Monday, there's a racial justice book group starting, Me and White Supremacy. I'm going to come back to that. And then Saturday, June 20th, Jim is doing a half-day Qigong. And Jim, would you like to speak to that for a moment? Invite people?
Always late. any rate, 4 hours of some movement. I'll be bringing some poetry to use as a seed for meditation. So there'll be part of the time sitting, part of the time moving, becoming aware of just the awareness of movement and bodily grounding in connection with the earth and opening of the heart. Starts with opening the arms. So I'll be doing Qigong from 9 o'clock until 1 o'clock on Saturday the 20th. So you're welcome to join me if you'd like to spend some time tuning in to your body. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim. I want to say just a little more about the Me and White Supremacy book group that's starting. There was an announcement to PIMC Connections. That's what I'm looking at right now. I'm just going to read the first paragraph. This book, it's not a Burke Circle, it's a book circle, is aimed at supporting our white-bodied and white-passing Sangha members who are self-educating on the perniciousness of white supremacy in our society, and how each white-passing person in America is complicit in this system unless we are actively working against it. Our BIPOC, the new proper term, Black, Indigenous, and people of color friends and neighbors, are all too familiar with this concept, I'm afraid. That said, I in no way want to leave BIPOC Sangha members out of the PIMC racial justice conversation. Quite the contrary. The book circle is just the beginning of racial justice efforts in our Sangha and is aimed at reducing potential harm that could be done without the awareness that the book will bring. It's Tiffany Baker sent this out and is coordinating this with a team of others. So I guess that's all I need to say. If you want to participate in this group, you will need to register ahead of time. The link is on the chat, and I'm going to be participating in myself. It's 10 Monday nights. So kind of an interesting, exciting, scary adventure. There also is on the chat the usual link to the website where you can go and participate in the great mystery of giving and receiving to support PIMC. And where are you? Alicia, there you are. Hi, you want to jump in?
I do. Thanks, Robert. Good morning, everyone. So if you weren't here yesterday, I will just briefly say that we have a campaign going on right now to create a remote broadcasting center at Robert's home. As you know, he's valiantly been coming to us via a tent in his backyard ever since March, middle of March. And we are looking to create a more sustainable solution so that he can continue these wonderful broadcasts that so many of us find so meaningful. So the campaign kicked off yesterday, and I looked this morning, and we're more than a third of the way toward our goal. And so I just give a deep bow of gratitude to all of you who've contributed already. This is an exciting campaign, and I think all of us are, or I certainly am excited to see the challenge met. I've posted to the chat the link where you can find the site on GoFundMe. The name of the campaign, if you aren't able to access the link, is Out of the Tent into a Tough Shed. So if you put some combination of those words into GoFundMe, you should come up with the campaign. And we'll be providing updates. Oh, my email address is also on chat. Thanks to the many of you who've contacted me with messages of support. So yes, please contribute as you're able. And remember that this is a campaign that runs in parallel with KIMZ's normal fundraising efforts. So please donate as you're able to both KIMZ and to this campaign. So thank you so much again, everybody.
Thank you, Alicia. I just looked this up. You can actually see the... So there's the Buddha Broadcasting Network tent, and this is the Tough Shed. This is not actually the one, obviously, and it's different from this, smaller, and the door's in a different spot, but that's what they look like. So I'm very grateful to everyone for supporting me in this, and thank you, Alicia, for your...
Thank you. I see that we're raising additional money in real time. It just sort of jumped.
Oh, is that right?
Again, everybody.
Shouldn't we just saying, go to your phones and call so and so, and our volunteers will be happy to. And for the $100 donation this year, we have an OPB cup with, and you can get a sweatshirt with Buddha Broadcasting Network on it. You know, we've talked about bumper stickers and things like that over the years. We never quite get around to it. Thanks, Alicia. Very, very touching for me. How do I get back to... There's the group. So I think that's really what I have to say today. I hope you're taking really good care of yourselves, and there are those who are acting as though, acting as though the pandemic is over. It really isn't. I heard yesterday that 1,000 people a day are dying of COVID-19 in the United States. And that's one person every 86 seconds. Now, there's people dying every second, of course, but this is still a very bad epidemic, and particularly for those of us that are vulnerable, particularly vulnerable because of age and other conditions. It really behooves us to be careful as we open up, so I encourage you to do that. To take care of your elderly loved ones by taking care of yourselves, particularly. And I think I mentioned my daughter Tara left her work here in Portland as a nurse and went to New York, where after about 7 weeks she did contract the virus, and she had a 2-week sickness, and now she's been back at work 6 or 7 days. So that's greatly relieving, and also comforting to know that people, so many of us can get this thing and not go down, and not die, but worthy of taking great care. So I invite you to share what's on your hearts if you have questions, comments, complaints.
So, Robert, I'd like to say something.
Hi, Russell.
Good morning. First of all, let me say, when you talked about giving care to our elderly relatives, well, however you just said that, I started laughing because that taking care of myself, I am my elder.
Right. It's true, isn't it?
meditation meant a lot this morning, and I meant to ask you, it is, you do post a recording of this? Question mark.
There is a recording of this on YouTube
YouTube, okay.
and also
Thank you.
on Facebook. And there is a blog. There's what's it called? An audio recording of it on a podcast, which is a little hard to find right now, but we're going to make it much easier. If you went to Podbean, Podbean, and searched for my name, you'd find all the ones for the last month or so are all there. You can just listen to. There's no video.
So what I wanted to say is I came in this morning, I found myself this morning feeling quite sad. And that is what's the word I want to use? That's a tricky thing for me. Because as a boy, I learned a lot about how to be depressed. Probably there's some genetic load and about sadness, and thank God over the years I've learned how to not follow the siren song, I call it, of sadness. And so I usually don't, but this morning, it was again, the house was empty except for my buddy Loki and I, and quiet, and I'm awfully tired of having so much quiet. And I started to think about that during the meditation. I mean, I was trying to be aware, but not be seduced and absorbed by that trance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I held up okay with it. And then something really interesting came to my awareness, which is for some reason, I started thinking about different people in my life, in my own path, how the right person seems to have arisen at the right time so often to help me take the next step. And I was thinking back over those people. I mean, I was doing history review here, but I was feeling a real sense of gratitude and enjoyment as I did that. It was lovely. And then I thought about you and I thought, of our extraordinarily wonderful and long friendship, and how in the later years, then you have also arisen as my teacher in this particular pursuit, or maybe my maybe my journeying companion, although I think you are much more sophisticated about it than I. And I just wanted to express my gratitude to you for that we are here on this planet together and share in this journey, and my profound gratitude for this magical way that especially relevant teachers have arisen all of my life. So I just wanted to express that, and I'm not feeling particularly sad now, thank goodness.
Thank you, Russell.
Thank you.
Robert, I have a question.
Francine, hi.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm
You're
so
very
glad to be here.
You're very pink and red in your world.
These gorgeous
Peach-colored
Sort of.
walls.
nectarine-colored walls. They're
Ah,
lovely.
nectarine. How bold of you to make nectarine-colored walls.
I use a lot of color in my life. I'm pretty colorful.
Cool.
And I know I've been very, very quiet for a few months because fairly new to the group, and but not new to sitting. And my question or examination, I guess this morning, is about the physical changes that I'm aware of. I have, I guess, a neurological response to the quiet, and I find myself I guess, shuddering or almost a neurological jerking that goes on.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing I'm very aware of is just this massive amount of salivation that goes on.
Huh.
Could you speak to any of those physical sort
Sure, I can.
of affairs?
Some people, at some times during their meditation, have, all people have some spontaneous movements, like jerking and jumping and that kind of thing. Some people, at some points, have a lot of it. Jack Kornfield described how his arms were flapping at one point, and it was
Right.
like big, and there's a term for it. They're called kriyas or kriyas, and the Kundalini people make great meaning of it. And
What's it called?
Kriya, K-R-I-A, I think.
Oh, Kriya.
In my training and lineage, it's seen as just another thing that happens, and if you like it and it seems meaningful to you, it'll happen more. And if you dislike it and it seems meaningful in a sort of an opposite way, then it'll likely continue to happen. It's when we accept it, this is what's happening, and it's who knows why, and then it just passes away. So to not worry about it, I think, is the most important thing. And what we tend to do, depending upon our own conditioning, we make sense of these things in their own way. And salivation, I've met people who've spoke about salivation before too, and as I'm speaking of salivation, as I'm aging, the corners of my mouth are going down, and somehow or another, this side started leaking a while ago, and it's not so bad when I'm speaking because I just nonchalantly raise my hand. But for instance, if I'm playing the guitar and singing, I can be right in the middle of a song, and suddenly this old man drooling of the kind of my corner starts. And I'd like to shut down the salivation some, please, but it doesn't. So it's just so many of these things. All we can do is just watch them and see how they are.
It's sort of, it's so spontaneous, and sometimes it's a series of small little jerks or shaking, and other times, like you suggested, my arms will just fling into the air.
Yeah. So you're in good company, and simply to watch how it arises, and you may notice there could be an intention would arise, a very subtle intention would arise, or no intention at all, and those are the ones that are just spontaneous, and all kinds of other stuff. I've had experiences of extraordinary pain in my back above my heart. That wasn't heart stuff, and as soon as I came out of meditation, it was gone. And then that opened up. There was some tremendous grief that was coming through, and then it started as aching. So there really is no predicting, but having a willingness to stay with it, lovingly and kindly, allows such things to move in and through. Same like Russell was describing this morning. He had this sadness. And you could just be with the sadness, and then it might manifest into some thinking, as it did for him, or it might just arise and pass away. And
I tried to focus on where it was coming from, and then I gave that up. It was like
great.
It just simply arises.
Yep.
Thank you.
Anatta. It's not a self. It's a living process, like the flowers blossoming outside.
Robert, it's Sharon in Tucson.
Hello,
Hi.
Sharon in Tucson.
I just wanted to say that I'm having an enormous amount of resistance letting go of the tent because it's so wonderful to have the sound of the rain. Very often it's raining in the morning.
It's
and
been raining.
and it's in Tucson. I love listening to the sound of the rain.
Ah,
And then when it's sunny, the clouds come over and a shadow comes across and goes away.
mhm.
And there's the sound of the crows, and even Budo coming up and leaning against the tent and distracting you. And it, I mean, I'm really just like, what? You can't move out of the tent. I'm having
Well,
this
okay. We'll
crazy reaction.
we will immediately refund all the donations, and we'll stay in the tent because it does have some real charm, and it's delightful at this time of year.
I'm sure there are good reasons that you're moving. I just think it'll be very, very different.
It will be. It'll be quieter. We won't have the barking dogs and the crows, and yeah. Thanks for sharing that. I have a little bit of that myself.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. You just provoked a memory. When we bought the center back in 2004, I had been with a group of people close in downtown in an old house, and I had a really beautiful office there. And my window had a view of Mount Hood, which is now gone. All that glass that got put up on the waterfront, the riverfront, would have obscured that view. It was just starting to. But anyway, I was standing in my new office at the now 15-year-old office at PIMC, which is not as nice an office. Anyway, I was there with a monk friend, Achan Chandako, and I said that I was feeling reticent to leave. And he had a really interesting comment, which was, often in life, we have to leave places and things which are really good. We don't just leave bad places. We have to, because it's the way life goes. We leave behind really wonderful places and experiences and people, because everything's impermanent. And it really got my attention. It was wow. Yeah. And there are some really great parts about being here in the tent. So thank you. My allergies go away completely when I go to Tucson. Jennifer and I have taken 2 little 4-day vacations there, and bam, my allergies are gone. It's kind of nice.
Hey, good morning.
Hello, someone.
Good morning. It's Kathleen.
Ah, Kathleen, hi.
Hey, I just wanted to share something. I like the synchronicity of meditating every day. And I have found that now that we're not doing Saturday, or sometimes I can't join you on Sunday, I go to FaceTime. And I sit and meditate with you on FaceTime from a previous day. And it works great.
Great. Facebook.
Or, yeah, Facebook's rapid. Yes. So
Well,
anyway,
great.
I just wanted to share that because it's been very helpful for me, because I think some of us like that everyday experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Kathleen.
Robert, this is Janine in Portland,
Hello, Janine.
and I'm fairly new, actually very new. But what I wanted to say was I couldn't find a link in the chat to the book group you were talking about.
If you
that
look-
might be because chat's hard for me, but I don't know if there's another way to find out about it.
Yes, it's at the very top of the chat. If you go into the chat and scroll, you can scroll to the top. But there's another way, which would be to let me put this in the chat right now. Avi.
So let me just tell you, I'm blind, and sometimes
Oh.
the chat doesn't work for me.
Well, that won't work. I see. That was presumptive of me. So
No, that's fine.
can you remember an email address?
Probably.
Avi, A-V-I, at Portland. I got a better email address. Robert at robertbeatty.com. That you might be easier to remember. And if you write me, I'll send you all that information. Robert at my name, robertbeatty.com.
Tell me how you spell your last name.
B as in Baker, E-A-T-T-Y, B-E-A-T-T-Y.
Got it. Thank you.
You're most welcome. I'll look for your email.
Okay.
It's nice to see you again, Janine. Thank you for waiting.
Yeah, Jim. I wondered if you would remember me.
You're my one and only blind student, but it was sure fun working with you.
I'd like to tell you I kept the practice up, but I have to be honest and say I sort of haven't.
You're the only one.
But we had fun while we were working on it. That was great.
We did.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, dear ones, it's already 7 minutes after 8, speaking digitally. Anybody else sitting with something, please?
Hi, it's Tally.
Hello, Tally.
Yeah, hi. I wasn't gonna talk, but I guess I'll just share this in case it helps anyone else. I just have not been feeling okay with myself. It just feels like the reckoning of the world and our country and everything that's going on has really tapped into something pretty deep for me, and like pain,
Mm-hmm.
and I've talked about it before. So I just feel like just getting through the day sometimes feels like a monumental miracle that I was able to perform the things that I'm supposed to do and be a parent and, run my business, which is not in a steady place with the COVID and everything. So I haven't come many times this week, partly because I'm just usually working at 5 a.m. and all the way till 6 at night and just trying to keep it all together. But, I know that also contributes to me not being able to really handle the emotions or all that, if I don't make space and time for self-care and meditation and being with the pain, then it's worse, right? So, I think, and in some ways I feel like this is necessary pressure for me and for the world, for our country, and to really be with the pain and, just be with it, sit with it, just like the Buddha says, just be with what is and not try to distract from it. This is where the Dharma is really useful to me, because you reminded me this morning in the meditation that, in that when you were talking about the Dharma, taking refuge in it. It's a really interesting concept, and I'm trying to believe it today, I guess. No, just believe that I'm allowed to.
Sad.
I think the arc of the, I'm kind of like a very visual person. I'm a designer. So I think about the arc of what's going on and like, the social unrest, like my emotions and my response to it was at first like just rage and anxiety and anger, just all of that, right? And like almost just overwhelming. And then I think this week it's been kind of a little bit of that shame and despair at feeling that rage. It's like there's that after venting that happens after anger. It's like, it's almost like when I feel anger at that level, it's just scary. And I think that this is the aftermath week of like coming down from that and processing it. So I'm trying to put words or visuals to it to help me contextualize what's going on for me. And I think meditation is helping me because it's stopping me from, trying to like figure it out in my mind and instead just be with it and allow the wisdom to arise. So
sounds like you're grieving.
Yeah.
And two of the main threads in grief are tears and rage. That there's anger, it shouldn't be like this, and it shouldn't have been like that, and then there's the relieving tears, the sadness, which is this is how it is, and it's very painful. Yeah. Thanks for turning on your. Thanks for checking in with us and sharing yourself.
Thank you so much.
Is there anybody else who would like to share? Maybe one last person before we go. All right then. Where'd Stephanie go? I saw her here. There you are. Want to summon the wild creatures? Okay, friends, I'll be happy to be with you tomorrow. Unmute all. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sad,
Say bye, everyone.
Saba.
Bye, dear friends.
Everyone.
Have a lovely, mindful day.
Bye, thank you.
Da.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Robert, tomorrow's Saturday.
Oh, tomorrow's Saturday? That's right. Today's Friday. I won't see you tomorrow. That's how interesting. Huh.
Take care, everybody.
Bye, Linnell. Thanks for the oriented as to time but not date. Person, place, time, but not date. Bye-bye. Thank you again, Alicia. Very beautifully spoken today. All right, here we go. End meeting for all. Bop. Goodbye, bee. All right. Whoa. Huh. Thank you, people on Facebook and YouTube. Happy trails to you. If you'd like to make a contribution, here's an easy way to do it. Go to portlandinsight.org/giving.